am live. Oh, I don't want to raise them. Hit the thumbs up button. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go live chat. Hopefully I don't freeze today. I hope to God I don't freeze. I did some work on this thing, so I'm hoping I don't freeze. But I also don't know if anybody's going to join. Because while I said I was on the main server, I changed servers, so let's see what happens. I'm going to clean this up. God. Bum, 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 bum. Nobody's joining. Usually I got Joe in here by now. Or somebody. I'm going to delete track. Delete track. There we go. Okay. So I've got this up. I need that there. I need my notes up. Thank God somebody else joined. I wasn't sure. I wasn't exactly sure. Morning, Lena. Thank you for joining. I wasn't sure if I'm on my iMac, and I tested it yesterday. It didn't freeze, but nobody joined, so I'm hoping. I had to switch servers, so I'm wondering if YouTube just isn't alerting people that I'm live, even though, let me see, if I go to YouTube, I think I see that I'm live. Actually, I don't. That's what's interesting. Live, let's see. It doesn't list me as live. Huh. That's what's interesting. Home. That may be why people aren't joining. Hopefully you got an alert. I don't know. Let's see. Go into settings. Legacy. What is legacy RTMP? Let's see. YouTube RTMP. What does that mean? Let's see. Suitable for normal or low latency live streaming. Huh. I don't know why. But it is strange that YouTube doesn't list me as being live for some reason. Maybe because I'm logged in under my iMac or something. I don't know. We're going to look at that. So I've got that up. I've got this up. NVIDIA. Is it the time to invest in that? And you can't see this, but what's crazy is I guess I can't change the server. You can't see, let's see, Active Trader Pro. This PDCE, it was just bought by Exxon for a $6.3 billion in all stock deal, which would indicate a 33% premium over the $65 price. It is only up by 10%. So that's kind of crazy, but okay, let me look. I'm going to try and do some scans, but I did scans last night, and I think, okay, let me see. I'm going to post this. Let me see, YouTube, and then, it does, now I'm listed as live. Boy, is it on here? Or, let's see your channel. About and home. Here we go. I'm live on YouTube, but it seems to be hit or miss if it lists me as live. So here's the link. Boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum. I'll post it on Twitter. As live. Here's the link. Boom, bum, boom. We're going to take that down. Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Use that one. It does list me as, okay. We're going to do the scanners. Think it's going to come up with the same damn thing as last night. Just going to check. Yep, it will. So I'm just going to probably do the podcast. Apple and Moderna. Apple has a secondary cross up. It's probably like a 6 times cross up. I mean, this stock has just been, let's see. And let's view seasonality of Apple. Let's go back to 1981. June is the second worst month for Apple. Okay. 1981. %. Percent being positive. Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. By the way, if you have not watched Air on Amazon Prime. Holy crap. What a good movie.
I'm offering 10,000 bitcoins in exchange for some pizza, and somebody there said, "Hey, I'll take you up on that offer." So I sent him the 10,000 bitcoin. I said, "Okay, here it is. I'm waiting for my pizza." And he phoned it in. He paid with his credit card, and the pizza showed up at my door. It was posted on the forum. I said,
Let's post that. So, 13 years ago today, a man paid $10,000 for Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas, I should say. That today is worth $270 million. Wow. Okay. Let us go to Tesla because I do want to make sure. I want to see seasonality for Tesla. Boom. Yep, June 2010. Where is, let me go to Twitter, and then I'll go to TrendSpider. I want to find TrendSpider's Twitter because they posted about wow, they have a lot more. Custom indicator scripting. DraftKings up 3.75%. USB upgrades them to a price target of 30. Micron. Good morning. Let's have a week. NVIDIA earnings. Bears are looking for resistance. The dots indicate provides QQQ. Huh, that's interesting. June is the strongest month of the year for Tesla with a 75 an average rate of return of 8.8%. How do I tell the 8.6%? That's what I want to know. I don't see it. But I do see that. Okay. We're going to record the podcast now. So I have that. So we see the seasonality of Tesla at 75%. We do. Okay. So June is a good month. Let me see if I see anything in our core portfolio that looks juicy. Meta down almost 1%. I still think Meta. PenW under 200. Qualcomm at 105. Roblox almost under 40 again. Tesla up slightly. Uber didn't hit 40 yet. Did Uber hit 40? I think it may have. 3903. I'm sorry. Nope. Didn't hit 40. Bounced right off that 40. Morning, Sherry. I switched servers, Sherry. I was trying to tell everybody. I switched servers, and I think it's not listing me as live for some reason, but VOO. You know what I want to look at is ARC. Let's look at RK. RK is my second favorite. ARK fund. You're doing okay. 10%. I like it at the 200-day. Under the 200-day, you buy it. When it kind of has confirmation over the 200-day, you sell it. It just seems to be a decent strategy on ARKs. And I don't know if I'm getting back into ARKs. 48, so you're up 5%. Maybe a little bit less. They're kind of holding on since their January highs, so it hasn't completely fallen off track. Sweet. Thank you, Sherry. That's good to know. I mean, there's only 7 people who are joining, but I'm going to start the podcast here in a short bit. I'm going to move this up to here. Move this down here. My notes. You know what? I'm going to move that down there. I'm going to move this up here. Okay. I want to look at, let's look at, Seeking Alpha. I want SPY. I gotta turn my Do Not Disturb. I forgot about Do Not Disturb. My apologies, but it wasn't loud. Sweet, Boltron. Thank you, guys. Some reason it wasn't showing me live when I tried to log in on my iPad. It's good to know YouTube's not completely screwing me over. QQQ. Let's put in DJA. No, I don't want Dow. Do DIA. Put in that. And we're going to do year to date. Should I put in the Russell? We'll put in the Russell. Why not? IWM. That's going to be the laggard. QQQ is just killing it. You know what? Let's add in Apple. Since I'm so big on Apple. Okay. Just look. I think Apple, I mean, listen, I'll tell you. Let's see. I will look right now. Bum, 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 bum. Year to date on my Fidelity, which is my large, that's 99.9% because I have everything in Fidelity. I have $1,000 in I put in January into Webull, which I'm going to rebalance actually today. I'm up 24.24%. So I'm not performing as well as QQQ. I'm outperforming SPY. I'm underperforming. If I just put everything into Apple, mind you, Apple is a large percentage, but year to date, I'm probably, there's energy in my portfolio. Let me see if I can, if it tells me a percentage of where my, let's see. I still have I have my healthcare savings. thought it would tell me a like bar chart or circular chart of all positions. I guess it doesn't tell me. Markets, watch lists, nope. Positions, details, it doesn't tell me. I thought it would tell me. I think it does on the website. Your bank, my profile, no. My beneficiaries. I guess it doesn't. Like industries and stuff like that. I'm heavily tech. So, but yeah, year to date, that's crazy good. I mean, shit, versus last year, I'll take 20% this year. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to start out with SPY. Okay. Good morning. Monday, May 22nd. Hopefully you had a good weekend. My weekend was filled with lawn work, watching the PGA Championship, which was awesome. If you're a golfer, Michael Bloom, who is a club professional in California, who actually my friend has played with, ironically, before. But he wound up hitting a hole-in-one yesterday and just kind of taking the country the golf country, I should say, by storm. But the most ironic thing that had happened this day in history, and make no mistake, this is a historic event. 13 years ago today, this man right here paid $10,000 for 2 pizzas, 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. That 10,000 Bitcoin today is worth $270 million. That guy probably isn't retired, but yeah, that's like the guy who sold Apple. That would be worth billions of dollars today, the stock. The guy who I guess held the lease for the garage that Jobs and Wozniak started and sold his rights for a couple $100 or something. But yeah, 10,000 Bitcoin, $270 million. He'd be living a different life. If you are not following me on the social, like Facebook, our private Facebook group, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, yesterday TrendSpider had a pop-up 50% off sale. I announced it on all the social medias that if you used my link, I would give you my algorithm, the 4-hour, the 65-minute watch lists, market scanner, everything so you could trade like me. I made mention TrendSpider. For me personally, the reason I use TrendSpider, the reason I have TrendSpider is to take emotion out of trades. So for instance, we have quite a few traders in the private Facebook group who say, I just have stayed in it too long. My problem, just like everybody else, is when do you get out? It's never when do you get in. It's when do you get out. And I wind up staying in too long. Well, I bought TrendSpider to try and take emotion out of the trades. The 2 algorithms that I have, the algorithms that TrendSpider gives you, because make no mistake, there are a bunch, quite a few strategies in TrendSpider that I don't use. And if you just sit on a Sunday and you're watching golf and you're sitting there and you with your laptop, you could find 20, 30 different strategies that will absolutely work for you within TrendSpider. So you don't have to use mine. You can use anything that you want. But it was a 50% off sale. These happen from time to time. I tell you, the biggest one that I typically have is the Black Friday. It is crazy. The Black Friday sale, 50% off, gets you under $400 for the year for TrendSpider. So subscribe to the socials. Make sure, if YouTube, maybe you have notifications on, but pay attention to them if you're in the market for TrendSpider. And I tell everybody, make sure that your trading size, that your portfolio size, that your capital allocation for trading is large enough to justify about $400. You do need the elite level for the backtesting strategy, which is the what I call the algorithms. It backtests, so you do need the elite level. So it's the middle level, and that's all I use. I do not use the professional, but again, it was a surprise sale. Bank of America strategists today raised their year-end target for the S&P from 4,000 to 4,300. That is an assumption, a pretty big assumption, that the debt ceiling gets lifted. In the short term, make no mistake, this market is not trading on inflation. It is not trading on Fed minutes. It is not trading on anything other than that debt ceiling. And the debt ceiling today, I think Biden's flying back. McCarthy's going to meet with him. The rumor is that over the weekend with Biden out of town, some of the more extreme portions of his negotiating team tried to walk back some of the Republican things that they had agreed to, blah, blah, blah. So, but my personal opinion, listen, if you're worried about the spending, worry about the actual, income as well. Raise taxes. Go ahead. I mean, there was a 60 Minutes piece last night on just the spending from the Pentagon. And, I mean, come on. Spending is out of control. We all know it. They're not doing enough to curb, the spending. But taxes at some point have to go up as well. So if you're worried about taxes killing the economy, work with them. Cut the spending, increase the taxes, get us back to a balanced budget like we were under Clinton. Simple as that. And again, the debt ceiling was negotiated under Clinton, and that's how they got to a balanced budget. So I do think that there's value on both sides there. Hopefully we get a deal done, because if we don't get a deal done, vote everybody in there. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. If they are sitting in the House, in Congress, vote them out. There is nobody worthwhile in Congress if they don't get to a deal. So, and that's it. And specifically, vote the leadership out. I'm not a big Trump fan. It does look like right now, if the presidential election were to be, it would be Biden and Trump. I would go third party, honestly. But yeah, I'm not a big Biden fan either. But the big news of the morning is that Chevron has kicked off the buying of energy companies. And they bought a company called PDCE. The deal is for $6.3 billion in stock. And I just did the math kind of off my head and listening to some of the CNBC news topics. That is a 33% premium over the $65 price that it closed at. It's a huge deal in my mind for PXD, which is Pioneer Natural Resources. But let's just take a look at PDCE. It's trading right now, here's Active Trader Pro, trading at $70.49. So that is much less than a 33% increase. So you might have an opportunity to buy. We always talk about Activision Blizzard being the most recent buy out there, that $95 price target. It's trading at about $75, but who knows what's going to happen with that one. This one looks like it's going to be a done deal. The reason I say it's big for PXD is because PXD was rumored, Exxon was rumored to be buying PXD, and we just had a crossover at 208.50. I'm probably going to add to my position here. I bought a small position It's close to the ex-dividend date again. You see the last ex-dividend date, we kind of took a leg lower and you went down below 200. I'm going to add because the algorithm tells me to add. And I'm going to add to a small position, and I'm not going to overdo it. I've got about 10% of my complete position size, but I am going to hold this for 1 year. And part of the reason I'm going to hold this for 1 year is I think energy is as low as it's going to go in the $70-some range. And PXD, while I wait for it to get there, they're paying an 11% dividend. The problem with PXD and every energy company is that the comps on the next quarter are going to be so bad. Last year, June was the high. I think oil got to 170, 150, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're going to see, and let's just take a look at UCO is where I usually trade oil. And if we go back to last June, you will see, here we go. It was June 8th. This stock was at $53. Today it's at $24. So if you're comparing PXD's quarters, you're going to be comparing it to oil that is significantly more expensive and selling for higher prices last year. But this has been a complete shit show on the way down as far as the price of oil. So if you do want to, if you're new to listening and you may not know this, UCO is the price. It's an ultra ETF for the price of crude oil, Bloomberg crude oil in particular. Now, if you knew that the price was going to go down, SCO was going to be your trade. And if we go back to June of last year, and let's pull this back, pull this back to June, and we look, June of last year, $19 it was trading for. Now, it hasn't gone up as much. It's not at 36, it's 26. But look at all that. I mean, just murky. Trade it around the 200-day. It's over the 200-day right now. Don't buy it. Trade it when it gets below the 200-day. Maybe it goes up above the 200-day. The governments are manipulating crude prices and energy prices 100%. But I do think that this Chevron purchase of PTCE is big, and it should kick off some type of flurry of energy, small caps being bought by the big caps. Let's talk about SPY Weekly. SPY Weekly, it's still in this range. We talked about 420 being the the kind of resistance level. Well, last week, the high was 420.72. Right now, you're trading at 418. You've got the debt ceiling involved. You've got Yellen saying, hey, June is the hard deadline. You got the president coming back from the G7. You've got all kinds of things. Right now, the RSI is at 58. It's kind of in no man's land. The MACD is high. The market looks like it's a bit extended, but if we get that debt ceiling deal, I kind of see 420 being beaten. So you can bet on it. You can do whatever you want. But SPY Weekly, it still stays within this wedge. The 200-day is right at 377. So we're quite a bit above that. We are in a bull market. I just wonder, are we getting back up to the 472? Again, Bank of America says 4,300 by the end of the year. That's quite a bit up from where we are today. So if you wanted to invest in stocks and think that this is the quote-unquote October lows, you go back to October here. If you think that these are the lows and we're going to go to 4,300, or even if you think we're going to go to 4,000 and we're going to get to 4,300, this might not be a bad time to add to some of your strategies. And that's SPY. QQQ, on the other hand, if we take a look at the weekly on the QQQ, you can see the algorithm had you in at 320 or at 336. That's just incredible on an indices basis. Short run bull here. Here's the weekly. You're still not in a wedge, but you have all the confirmation. You're above that 9-day. You're only halfway to the 391, which was back in December 2021, which was the highs. So you're only halfway back. So I think it does make sense to try and take some risk, maybe put some money to work. It's not something where I'm putting all of my eggs in a basket. Old resistance becomes new support. So once we hold that 420 for a week, I think then you can say, hey, we're going back to these, 390, 400 area on QQQ. I think that's when you can say, yeah, we're going to go up there. My weekly stock pick, he picked Microsoft again. And I've said it, I think this is the third week in a row. It is a bullish stock. I mean, you can see from here, 295.97. I said get in under 300. I thought you could. There's still this gap down here between 278 and 292. It doesn't look like it's going away. ChatGPT released their app. I noticed this weekend, I think I've said this, I'm being pulled into an Earthlink lawsuit, which F you people that want me to testify. I hate everybody. But I actually went into ChatGPT and Bard, and I put in the link to the lawsuit, and I said, summarize this for me. And ChatGPT is looking at links now. So it's actually looking at the live internet. I don't know that it's trained on the live internet. We know that Bard is trained on the live internet, but it's interesting. And so Microsoft, when do they get their button to integrate it into their entire Office suite? It's just oversold. Look at that. 69.45 is the RSI. You're almost at 70. Look at how high that MACD is. You just crossed your ex-dividend date, which means I got a bunch of dividends, and I bought up here at 312 because I reinvest my dividends just like Apple. I just reinvest the dividends, so I bought some up there. Probably not as much as Apple, but close to it. I mean, I have a lot of Microsoft stock. I did sell some in December. Probably a mistake because it was down here at 230. I thought it was a little extended. Doesn't look extended now. But it is my weekly stock pick. He is down for the year. I have no doubt in my mind he will wind the year up. Over the past 3 years, I think he's up 311%. So he's doing really, really well. Let's talk about Tesla. There are a couple of things on Tesla. And if you didn't listen on Friday, Tesla's autopilot for me on my drive back from New Jersey to Atlanta was absolutely phenomenal, just phenomenal. So I'm a big believer in Tesla. I long term, I think they've still got 100% the way. 185 is a test point. You're seeing this gap that's up here between 170 and 180. That's filled. 163 was the buy-in down here. I did not get in. I am probably adding a small amount here at 180, hoping that we get past 185. If we get back down here to the 150, I mean, I've been burned by this one trying to wait out, getting a lower gap, and it just never filled. And as we get further away, it becomes less likely this one gets filled. With the RSI up here at 66, I think it's a little extended, but I don't want to miss it because, again, 185 is a test level. If we get above that and hold it in pre-market, you're at 180.88. There is, and I wanted to show you this. Oh, before I show you that, let's look at Tesla's seasonality. You go back to June 2010 when it IPO'd. June is the most profitable month going back 13 years. 75% of the time in June, Tesla was positive. Average rate of return for June, 8.68%. Thank you, TrendSpider, for that. Seasonality down here on TrendSpider, again, you can't get any better than TrendSpider. But what I wanted to do was take you over to the private Facebook group, and I posted this. TrendSpider shared when building a long strategy, use a baseline condition like price above 200 SMA is a great way to avoid a dead cat bounce. The 520 SMA cross strategy on Tesla performs well, but adds over 200% when the price is also above the 200-day. You click on that. It takes you to TrendSpider. Follow the link. And then essentially you can log in and import or sign up and import. And you can see we will subscribe. There we go. And I got to go back here to TrendSpider now. Click here to open it. So I just imported it, and it's a strategy into my thing. It doesn't belong to me, but I can run it. And it'll show it on the screen up here. It won't. I have to change my my look, but here's what it is. Entry at 171.82. And you're in it. So for Melissa on Facebook who says, would I be in it? Does it say to buy? It says to buy at 171.82 and you're at 180. So it's so far, let's see. This provides you a performance chart of 1,144% over 4 years versus 1,338% with the asset performance. So the big thing is 21 positions, 52% are winners. So with the volatility, it protects you from an enormous downside. It doesn't perform as well as just buying and holding, but that's because this one has just been a crazy, crazy good stock. We can go to a shallow test of 1,000 candles. It protects you because, again, you lose 1%. Versus over 1,000 candles, which is 7 months, you would be down 13% on Tesla. So it does protect you a little bit, but it's a great strategy. Tesla 520 with 200-day by TrendSpider. And if you want to look at the strategy, you basically scroll down and it shows you the actual strategy. But subscribe to TrendSpider on Twitter, on Facebook. They post some incredible strategies. But again, June is a strong month. 185 is a test point for Tesla. And the 520 crossover says get in at 171. So I'm adding to my position at 180. I think it's a little bit. I have a question for everybody. And I don't know the answer for this because I haven't fully thought it out in my head. But this morning I read an article. There's an olive oil shortage. Prices of olive oil, they're up 46% over last year. And it's because of a severe drought in Spain. I don't know how to invest this. I'm going to think about it. But 46% over a year. Remember what I always tell you, too. Whether your grandmother is making meatloaf for Christmas, it is already priced into the market. So understand that even though I am saying this and it's in the news, it's already priced into the market. I'm just wondering, how do we take advantage of this? Filippo Berio, who's a top olive oil brand in New Jersey, said it's the most challenging time on record with the lowest crop yield in 30 years. So it's out there. I don't know how to invest it. I'm going to think about it. That's an expensive one. I don't know about you. Olive oil is a daily thing in my life, so I love it. Let's talk about earnings. Zoom is coming up. I think it's today. Let's see. It's today after the bell. Zoom has been on a tear. May 22nd, post-market. 61.43 was the bounce. Now, the algorithm protects you. It does not make money. It protects you in making 57% versus, it loses you 57%. The actually buying and holding the asset loses you 78%. So the algorithm does protect you on this one. I'm not a huge Zoom fan, but if they do something crazy and post some type of earnings, you may see a huge pop in this. If we go to the 65-minute algorithm, it just got you out with a 7% gain, but it got you back in at 69.40. And that's why I'm bringing it up. Does this one make sense to buy here on the 65-minute algorithm? I'm going to scroll back to the, and I've got True Green outside, my neighbors. Look at what it did on the last earnings. It was trading at 73. It got you in right at the time of earnings at 75. It went up to 76. And then it just dropped back down. And you can see you got back there in April, but you haven't really done anything since then. If we pull this volume level back and we look at where most people are holding, the support level would be 64 if you break down below 68. So I think you could have some significant stop loss, meaning a super tight stop loss of 68. And if it goes up, great. Sell it scalp it on the 65 minute. If it goes up on earnings after today. If it goes down, sell it. If it starts to just tank and you need to sell it, sell it. That's kind of my thing on Zoom earnings. Dick's Sporting Goods is also reporting. I'm going to go back to the 4-hour one here. Dick's Sporting Goods is reporting after the bell. Retail has been completely decimated. You can see this is the 4-hour algorithm. It got you out on May 2nd, hasn't gotten you back in. There's gaps down here. This gap down here at 103, I'm slightly concerned if the consumer is as weak as expected. Personally, I like Dick's. I've gone in there. It's the only place where you can really get some decent running clothes and running sneakers that kind of match. If you go to the outlet malls, if you go to the stores, if you even shop on like Puma and Under Armour's app, they don't sell like, put together like the same color kind of scheme stuff. So I like Dick's for that because they do sell that stuff. But they're coming up. Is it today? Tomorrow pre-market. So you would have to trade it today. It got you out. I don't know that it's worth it. I kind of saw it. The big earnings this week, it's NVIDIA on Wednesday. NVIDIA has just been a monster. 275 was the buy here. Over 2 years, the asset is up 98%. The algorithm makes you 84%. You can see here, the earnings was a good time to buy at 213 on the last earnings back in February, and you've continued to go up. The issue is, and I hate to always bring this up because I've missed out on NVIDIA because of this, the PE is 179. The question always is, do they just grow into that PE because they increase their earnings that much? Year to date, they're up 113. Target price. Average target price is 292 and you're trading at 312. I don't know that it makes sense to get into this one. And I think with the run, remember, there are 1.25% single stock ETFs. So you've got NVDS, which is the short. This is the bear. So if for some reason NVIDIA goes down, this will go up. It's at 1370. Doesn't have a buy in the algorithm. It is down. The RSI, it is completely down in the bottom doldrums. It's at 30. But the stock has just been on fire. And at 1370, maybe you could get a bounce on here if for some reason NVIDIA posts something, they're going to pop on the call, I think, because Jensen Huang is going to bring up AI. AI is going to be mentioned. My guess, the over-under is 5,000 times on that 1 hour call. If you think that is going to go up and you think NVIDIA is a good play, NVDL, it's 1.25 times. This one has just been a monster, an absolute monster of a performer all the way since January. It was down here at 19. It's at 55 right now. That is a significant gain over what NVIDIA has done, which is up over 100%. Let's see. NVDL is the long one. Year to date, it's up 194%. So it's almost double. So while it's 1.25, it's almost doubled. And that's just because people are buying the hell out of it. I'm freezing. Hold on 1 second. Oh. I guess I'm frozen. I don't know why this happens on this one. Oh, maybe it's... Huh. And I don't have that. Let me look at this space. No, I have 400 gigs available. Anybody else frozen? Can anybody else chat? Let me see. But 46% over a year. Remember what I always tell you too? Yeah. Whether your grandmother is making meatloaf for Christmas, it is already priced into the market. So understand that even though Okay. I'll let you guys hear me. Yeah. Settings. Stream output. Recording. And this is what's interesting is the recording doesn't seem to be saving either. Video match, no downscaling. Let's see.
Now, the algorithm protects you. It does not make money. It protects you in making 57%. I'm sorry, it loses you 57%. Actually buying and holding the asset loses you 78%. So the algorithm does protect you on this one. I'm not a huge Zoom fan. Percent. So the algorithm does protect you on this one. I'm not a huge Zoom fan. But if they do something crazy and post something,
It is strange.
you may see a huge pop.
The screen on my live is frozen, but the voice isn't. But it's way behind.
69.40, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Does this one make sense to buy here on the 65-minute algorithm? I'm going to scroll back to the. I've got True Green outside, my neighbors. Look at what it did on the last earnings.
I'm hearing myself, but that was like
it got you in right
quite a while ago.
75. It went up to 76.
Ooh, okay.
And it just dropped back down.
I got the recording.
Got back there in April.
So now that the recording is good. I wonder. I guess I can't change any of the settings while I'm actually streaming. But my disk is fine. I may have to reinstall OBS, which is gonna freaking suck. But it's not that hard. Output disabled. It is this part that is streaming. Let's see, encoder, keyframe, profile high. Use B frames. Bitrate. I'm using the software encoder, not the hardware encoder. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm running too much. No, I should be able to run that. Right control ABR. Maybe if I profile. Let's see, main. Let's see if that helps at all. I don't know. I looked at SPY here. I'll look at SPY. Here's the SPY weekly. I mean, 420 continues to be the killer. You know, we hit 420.72 on the weekly, Brandon. Your high, your RSI is at 59. Your MACD is not crossing up, but it's crossed up way back here, and it's just continuing up. You're in that wedge, but you haven't broken that 420. Old resistance becomes new support. Hopefully you can see this. I can't see it on my screen. I'm stuck on Zoom video. But, oh, wow. I guess, no, I'm going to have to reinstall. I'll continue on this one. I don't think that you can see my screen. At least on my screen that I monitor it on. You can't see it. Sorry about that. I'm going to continue recording. I was on NVIDIA. The recording will work. So when I post the podcast, if all of you guys on live, you'll be able to see the actual charts that I'm showing on the recording. I'll make sure that I post that right after this. It'll maybe take an hour to upload. But NVIDIA, we talked about this one. I don't think it's worth the cost in getting into. So play NVDS and NVDL. Another one that's reporting earnings is Lowe's. Lowe's, Home Depot was the disappointment last week, and you can see where Lowe's sank down here to the low was about 193. I said, hey, it's under 200. Probably should get it under 200. It's already covered its gap up, except for the 218 gap up. Do I expect this one to be up? It's not going to 218. I would expect the same kind of commentary, and I would expect the same kind of pullback. If it gets under the 200-day, and Lowe's is one that you want to hold in a long-term portfolio, then get it when it's under its 200-day. Simple as that. I don't think this is a good one to trade. I don't think it's going to pop 5, 10, 15%. I think it's just a decent stock to buy and hold. Another one that's coming out with earnings, I think it's Wednesday, is Costco. Costco, May 25th is the earnings. That is Wednesday. It's in this ascending wedge, and you're down at the bottom. I've said, hey, under 500, you should buy this one. Over 500, you should sell it. Costco, I mean, tell me when their parking lots are not full. Tell me when shoppers, don't get into fights in Costco parking lots on the weekends. It's crazy. It is expensive. Go over to here at FinViz and you look at Costco. For a retailer, the PE is 36. Year to date, you're up 8%. It's got a dividend of 0.82. The average target price is $5.48, a full 10% above where you are at now. Now, mind you, the most recent is initiated